So it's like, here's the thing. When you get pulled over by the cops, just be respectful. The best thing that can happen is you get off with a warning. The worst thing that can happen, you get killed. So how you act from the time those blue lights come on, and trust me, I've seen the blue lights in my rearview mirror. I've gone to jail before. I'm not proud of it, but I'm still alive to talk about it because I didn't lip off. I didn't mouth off. I didn't make any sudden movements. I was yes sir, no sir. I tried to be as nice as I could, and then once they had me cuffed in the back of the car, then I let all the motherfuckers rip, and I serve this fucking country, and I pay your taxes, I pay your bills, and motherfucker, and you're a punk bitch, and let me get these handcuffs off me. But after that, I was like, I already knew I was going to jail. So that's the time to do it. Not before. Before you get the handcuffs on, be polite. Say, yes, sir, no, ma'am. I apologize. I didn't realize. I didn't know. Then if they're going to arrest you anyway, then let it fly. Be like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Fucking bitch ass. If it wasn't for that badge and that gun, I'd be whooping your ass right now. That and the fact that I got these handcuffs on. And that you're stronger than me. And you're probably better trained. And the fact that I'm 46 years old. I forgot how to fight. So anyway.
Here's Hillary Clinton.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
Okay, so just a fact, huh? Tulsi Gabbard's a Russian asset and Jill Stein's a Russian asset. Out front now, Van Jones, host of the Van Jones Show. So that's how she puts it out there. I mean,
she's playing a very dangerous game.
Welcome back, everybody, to what a week it has been, which, as you all know, is week number 146 of the Trump impeachment process, and the libtards have nothing on him again. So, they had the Democratic debates this week. I tried to watch them. I watched the first hour, and after hearing, oh, you're going to get this for free, you're going to get this for free, and then how you're going to pay for it, and we don't know, and Liz Warren lying about how she's going to raise taxes, but she really isn't. She's just going to raise costs. So everybody's calling her out on it. And then for some weird reason, Hillary goes on some podcast and...
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
And then Tulsi fired back, and it's...
People warned me in 2016 that my endorsement of Bernie Sanders would be the end of my quote-unquote political career. They said Clinton will never forget that she and her rich and powerful friends, her allies in politics and in the media, will make sure that you are destroyed. Well, there have been countless hit pieces full of smears against me from day one of this campaign. They've tried to destroy my reputation and my lifetime of service because I stood up to them. I've spent over 16 years of my life proudly serving in the Army National Guard. I still serve as a major today. I volunteered to deploy to the Middle East twice. I've served in Congress now for nearly 7 years, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, and I am not afraid to openly express my love for our country. But if they can falsely portray me as a traitor, then they can do it to anyone. And in fact, that's exactly the message that they want to get across to you. That if you stand up against Hillary and the party power brokers, if you stand up to the rich and powerful elite and the war machine, they will destroy you and discredit your message. But here is the truth. They will not intimidate us. They will not silence us. We are not here just to protest their corruption. I am running for president to take the Democratic Party and our country back from the corrupt elite. I'm running for president to bring about a new Democratic Party and new leadership that will fight for peace, fight for the people, and protect our planet. So I want to ask every single one of you to join me in speaking truth to power. Don't be afraid. Let's root out the corruption in our party and our country. Join me to end the war machine's stranglehold over our leaders and ensure that our government is truly of the people, by the people, and for the people.
The morning of the debates, Hunter Biden had to go on one of these dumbass talk shows and say, well, my dad never ever knew about anything that... See, one thing that they taught us in the Marine Corps infantry, because we had to detain people. You know, that was part of your job in the infantry, was you had to capture the enemy, you had to interrogate them, and you had to know if they were lying. And one of the tricks that they taught us, if somebody's lying, like right now I'm looking at you and my blink pattern tends to be maybe 1 every 4, 5, 8 seconds. I'll blink. And then if I'm going to tell a lie, I'll hood my eyes first and then I'll open them. And then when I start to tell the lie, I'll blink rapidly in succession. This is a classic tell. Anybody, this is interrogation 101. This is what they were teaching us dumb grunts about interrogation process. They're like, if you capture a guy and you say, hey, are your forces over here or are they over here? And they go, our forces are over here. Then you automatically know that they're at the other location. And granted, most people don't know to look for it, but here's the thing. When you're raised, your parents always tell you, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. So your natural reaction from a lie is to try to hide from it. That's why a lot of people look left or right, but that's not always true because something could catch their attention. The one thing that always remains true is somebody will close their eyes like they're trying to hide from you, which is what they call hooding in the FBI. They'll hood because they're trying to hide from you, and then they'll be like, oh, I need to look at this person to make them believe my lie, and then they will lie to you. So here's a clip from Hunter Biden lying very badly. And he has those Coke eyes too, which makes it so much more obvious. Like, if you've ever been around somebody on Coke, their eyes are always like super wide open and they're just like, oh, and they're super attentive. And then all of a sudden he goes from this to, my dad never knew anything about me or anything. I just happened to be on Air Force 2 that day when we were in Ukraine, and then they gave me a job.
Biden and his son are stone cold crooked.
The president has been on the rampage, accusing 49-year-old Biden of improperly profiting on business interest in Ukraine while his father was vice president and the point person on Ukraine, taking a seat on the board at $50,000 a month with a gas company called Burisma, which had been accused of corruption, leading to that now infamous phone call in July.
It's a very honorable call. It's a nice call.
When President Trump asked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate the Bidens, no evidence of illegal wrongdoing has been found against either one.
I want to get to the heart of it. Did you and your father ever discuss Ukraine?
No. As I said, the only time was after a news account, and it wasn't a discussion in any way. There's no but to this. No, we never did. I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
You were paid $50,000 a month for your position?
Look, I'm a private citizen. One thing that I don't have to do is sit here and open my kimono as it relates to how much money I make or did or didn't. But it's all been reported.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not.
Such a bad liar. Oh, and then Eva Mendez went to Supercuts this week, and for some reason that made the news. I don't understand how Eva Mendez going to Supercuts makes the news. Oh, except when you look at AOC, just got a $300 haircut. So I think this is kind of Eva Mendez's way of saying, hey, AOC, if you look like me, girl, you don't need a $300 haircut. You can get an $80 haircut down at Supercuts. But AOC's a complete moron. She wants to take away all of your money and give it to somebody else, but she can still go get a $300 haircut. And then when people call her on it, like, well, hey, wouldn't you rather spend that $300 helping the poor or donate it to charity? She goes, oh, well, you're just mad because we're putting the Republicans to shame and we're looking good doing it. So that was her response. So in California, this LA City Councilman, Mike Bonin, likes to walk around and say, oh, look, I'm helping the homeless and I'm doing a walkabout and blah, 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 blah. So he walks up to this homeless guy who's got like this little fire going and then starts a fire in the middle of fire season. Bonin even tells him, hey, this is fire season. What are you doing? And then as soon as the homeless guy, of course, who's crazy, they won't admit that the homeless crisis is a mental crisis. It's the exact same thing with gun violence. Gun violence isn't a gun problem. Homelessness isn't a money problem. It's a mental problem. The exact same reason that these people are homeless is the exact same reason that people shoot other people. People in their right minds don't become homeless. They do things, they take a job that pays less, and maybe they move into a worse neighborhood, but they don't just move out in the streets and start fires. So anyway, here's this idiot Mike Bonin letting this guy get away with starting a fire. Tell you what, you or me, any normal person starts a fire in front of a city council member, we're probably going to jail, but I guess the homeless get away with it for free. Here you go.
Yeah, Boninville!
Mike, I love it. Seems totally safe, right? Our fearless councilman.
Bonnie, what's going on over here?
Is he allowed to do this?
Is this okay?
I don't know why I read Yahoo News. Yahoo News always just makes me so angry. It is like, I hate using the term fake news, but it's the conglomeration of all the fake news outlets like the Huffington Post, New York Times. They just put the most garbage stories on there. So they put this garbage story about how the teachers in Chicago are doing such a wonderful job, but they're on strike. And if the economy is going so good, then why are all these workers on strike? Why is the United Auto Workers, why are they, the GM folks, why are they on strike? Why are the teachers going on strike if this is such a wonderful economy? And it's like, well, you answer your own question. When the economy is going wonderfully, you can afford to strike, but you need to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. The United Auto Workers have a legitimate reason, I think, to strike, even though I think they're all way, way overpaid. They're living in Detroit. They're all making an average of $64 an hour after all of their benefits and everything is included, and they're striking. That's kind of crappy. I mean, that's $128,000 a year if you don't include the 2 weeks of vacation. If you include that, it's $130. $130,000 a year on the average for building a car in Detroit, where you can buy this house for $1,500. So I don't understand what they're bitching about. But the teachers in Chicago is what pissed me off, because teachers in Chicago are like, well, we need a raise, we need a raise, we need a raise. Last year in 2018, 78% of the students graduated high school. That means if you went into high school at 9th grade, there's a 78% chance that you would graduate 12th grade, right? You're thinking, well, that's not that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. But there's like, oh, that's after 5 years. Maybe the Chicago teachers need to take basic math, because 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade is 4 years. Now, if you had 78%, honestly, in my opinion, if you have 78% of your students graduating in 4 years, that's not great. That's not worth a raise. But then you say, oh, no, that's in 5 years. Oh, really? So 3/4 of your students graduate in 25% more time than it takes everybody else. And you want a fucking raise. Are you out of your minds? This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
CTU has been bargaining with CPS for over 10 months now. And we've got more accomplished in the last 2 days than we were able to get accomplished over the last 10 months. So listen, we're still fighting. It's not over yet. It's still going strong. But thank you for doing what you're doing, because what you're doing in the street is helping what we're doing in the room.
If you have 78% of your students graduating in 4 years, that's not great. That's not worth a raise. But then you say, oh, no, that's in 5 years. Oh, really? So 3/4 of your students graduate in 25% more time than it takes everybody else. And you want a fucking raise. Are you out of your minds? Where do these people get the balls? Oh, I guess because so far this year alone, 434 people have been murdered in Chicago. So they're like, look, only 10% of our kids get murdered. Maybe that's why they're not at 88% graduation rate. It's probably because 10% of their kids get murdered in the streets. Maybe if y'all could clean up the town, keep those kids off of drugs and keep them out of gangs, instead of a 78% chance over 5 years, maybe you can get an 80% chance in 4 years and be like the rest of America that you want to raise. Get the fuck out of here. That makes me angry. So, the news didn't report on this, even though it never ever happens. Because if you ever watch, I should just let the video explain itself. Because this kind of stuff just makes me so angry. So this white cop pulls over this black guy, and of course, goes exactly how you think it would go.
Hello, sir. My name is Officer Ramos with the state police. Do you know your tail lights aren't on? See where that knob is where my light's hitting? The left, your turn signal knob? Yeah, turn it up 1 notch. Okay. There you go.
I didn't know.
Rental car?
Rental car, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
All right, no worries. Be careful tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
But the news, they're not reporting on this. You know, they're not reporting on the fact that this happened. I mean, according to the news, this never happens. This is a rarity. This is like finding a unicorn in Central Park humping a zebra that was given a blowjob to a chimpanzee, and they're not reporting on it. So, what the fuck, mainstream media? You know, if you're gonna report one side of the story that happens 0.0001% of the time, why can't you report on the side of the story that happens, you know, the other 99.99999% of the time? Well, actually, if this guy would have mouthed off, been like, "What the fuck you pulling me over for?" he would have got a ticket. So it's like, here's the thing: when you get pulled over by the cops, just be respectful. You know. The best thing that can happen is you get off with a warning. The worst thing that can happen, you get killed. So how you act from the time those blue lights come on, and trust me, I've seen the blue lights in my rearview mirror. I've gone to jail before. I'm not proud of it, but, you know, I'm still alive to talk about it because I didn't lip off. You know, I didn't mouth off. I didn't make any sudden movements. I was yes, sir, no, sir. I tried to be as nice as I could, and then once they had me cuffed in the back of the car, then I let all the motherfuckers rip, and I serve this fucking country, and I pay your taxes, I pay your bills, and motherfucker, and you're a punk bitch, and let me get these handcuffs off me. And but after that, I was like, I already knew I was going to jail. So that's the time to do it, not before. Before you get the handcuffs on, be polite, say yes, sir, no, ma'am. I apologize. I honestly, I didn't realize. I didn't know. Then if they're going to arrest you anyway, then let it fly. Be like, fuck you motherfuckers. Fucking bitch ass. If it wasn't for that badge and that gun, I'd be whooping your ass right now. That and the fact that I got these handcuffs on. And that you're stronger than me. And you're probably better trained. And the fact that I'm 46 years old. I forgot how to fight. So anyway, y'all get the message. Oh, Elijah Cummings, the Democrat from Baltimore, Maryland, that shithole. Yes, it's a shithole. I called it a shithole. I don't care who calls it a shithole. Baltimore, Maryland is a shithole.
That everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job. I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very challenging.
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces? Can't take a shower. Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position.
Here's a video of people calling Baltimore, Maryland a shithole.
So excited when Ms. Kim told me how many hits that we got and that the president actually responded to Elijah Cummings. And what he said was definitely true. He hasn't done anything for us. For the last, I think he's been in office over 20 years? 30. 30? Okay, so I was like 18 back then, and he hasn't done anything for us. No cookouts, no shoe giveaway, no clothes giveaway, nothing for the, and then y'all want to know about the houses, he hasn't done anything. Today is Saturday, July the 27th, 2019, not 1819. It's today. It's a little bit after 6 p.m. Like I said, he has never done anything for not even one person that I know of. I never heard anybody say anything about him. And people want to talk about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Why is this man over there taking care of people at the border? We hungry. We need a place to stay. We feel like we're in a concentration camp. And it's just sad. He worried more about them than his own people. It's just crazy. Excuse me for venting like this, world, but it breaks my heart to see this. It does. This neighborhood, the last time this neighborhood was thriving was 2003. 2003. That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. And it's just sad. And then they want to take the houses that's look nice on the outside. they come around film houses that look nice on the inside, outside, but really don't nobody live in them houses, and they tore up from the floor. Like I said, world, please, we need everybody to get together and represent your neighborhood, whether you live west, east, north, south, way out in west, boom, boom. It doesn't matter. Just support your neighborhood, support your community, take care of each other.
Those people live in Baltimore, Maryland. St. Elijah Cummings didn't do shit for them ever. All he did was pat his pockets. He made it to. He did the classic thing. He was raised by sharecroppers. He got out of the ghetto. He made it into politics, promising everybody else that he was going to help them out too. And once he saw how much money he could get by keeping them down and keep promising them a better life, once he saw how much money he can get by doing that, he just kept it and just gave them a little bit at a time, just a little bit. Oh, here, I'm going to make your life just $1 today better so that he can collect $500,000. And I'm going to make your life $2 better so he can collect $1 million. That's how they do it. That's how the Democrats stay in power. They keep you addicted to the handouts because they know they're like, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000 a month. And everybody's like, well, hell yeah, who couldn't use another $1,000 a month? But then what happens? Everybody in your neighborhood now has an extra $1,000 a month. What happens to gas prices? They go up. What happens to the price of a car? It goes up. What happens to the price of babysitting? It goes up. Why would I babysit your kids for $100 a night when I'm going to get $1,000 for free? Like, you want to go out and spend your $1,000? You better give me like $300. You know, because I'm not going to watch your kids while you go out and have fun. I want to go out and spend my $1,000, right? So if you want me to babysit your kids, you give me $300 of your dollars, and then you go out and you spend $700, and I'll stay and watch your kids. That's called inflation. But normally you can get a babysitter for, I don't know. I'm in Southern California. Prices are exorbitantly high here, so $100 a night for a good babysitter is about the going rate. So Elijah Cummings died. The guy's a piece of crap anyway. You know, I don't care about talking ill about the dead. The truth is the truth, and you can't hide from it. The fact is, the guy screwed over his constituents to become a millionaire, and he never helped those people. To show how much the mainstream media was his darling and his backer, when he died, the first paragraph of I read like 4 or 5 different articles about him. The first paragraph was like, Democrat, Elijah Cummings passed away. He'd been fighting some sickness, blah, 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 blah. He's most notably known for fighting Trump, and Trump did this and Trump did that. And then the whole, like, 15 more articles, Trump. And I was like, man, this guy isn't a journalist. He's a TDS syndrome idiot. Go to the next one. Oh yeah, Elijah Cummings was a sharecropper's son, and he did a wonderful job during the civil rights era, and he did this for colored people, and then Trump. So I was like, oh shoot, well at least they got 2 paragraphs. The next one was 1 sentence. Elijah Cummings, most notably known for battling Trump, dies at age 69. I'm like, holy shit, they just get worse and worse. You can't even dedicate a full sentence to the man that you guys claim to love when he passed away. You can't even dedicate the first sentence of his basic obituary to him. It's like you had to put Trump's name in there. You guys are so retarded. I don't get it. How do you let somebody get that into your head? That's why you're going to lose in 2020. And Hillary is helping out like a mug, because Hillary's out there slamming Tulsi, like saying, oh, Tulsi's ignorant, Tulsi's a Russian, she's a Assad apologist, and she's a Russian bot, and her butt is fake. Tulsi's the best shot that the Democrats have. And Hillary is still pissed because Tulsi called out the fact that back in 2016, the DNC was running a crooked candidacy, and they kept saying, nope, we're still going to give it to Hillary. We're still going to, even though Bernie was winning.
Just 2 days ago, the New York Times put out an article saying that I'm a Russian asset and an Assad apologist and all these different smears. This morning, a CNN commentator said on national television that I'm an asset of Russia. Completely despicable.
And so Tulsi was the only one who had any honor, who had any sense of what's right. And she said, well, no, Bernie is supposed to win the candidacy. Bernie is the one that the people want. You can't give it to Hillary. And they said, well, we're going to do it anyway. And she goes, okay, fine, I resign. She resigned from, it wasn't co-chair, but she was like the second in command of the DNC. It was like executive chair or something like that. So she's the only one, you know. So if you've noticed, I am wearing my LA police gear coexist shirt today. I love this one. I got it from lapolicegear.com. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 12, 13, 14 bucks. So the biggest, latest, we need to impeach Trumpness is that he pulled our last 50 troops. They can't stop talking about this. Pulled our last 100 troops out of northeastern Syria, which we have no business being there anyway. The only reason that we were there was to fight ISIS, was to prevent ISIS from killing all the Kurds and from killing all the Syrians. So now that we've defeated ISIS, it's like, okay, well, you guys are on your own. Assad promised the Kurds that whatever the Kurds took back from ISIS, they get to keep. So why are we responsible to make sure that Assad keeps his promise? Why is that our business? Like, no. We went in there, we helped you guys defeat ISIS, we gave you all the guns, we gave you all the training, we showed you how to do it. Now you guys need to be big boys and you protect your own land. If you Kurds made an agreement with Assad that, hey, you know, you said that you would protect us and give us our own little sovereign land if we beat ISIS, and we did, so can we have this little piece of land? And Assad, you know, reneges on it, then that's between you guys. We didn't beat ISIS because they were messing us up. There hasn't been one attack. There hasn't been one ISIS attack in America. There have been like 3 failed attempts by people who watched ISIS videos, but they weren't ISIS. We weren't over there, you know. The only Americans that were killed doing that during the whole ISIS fight were because we were over there. If we would have just stayed our butts over here, no American would have been killed by ISIS, except for the idiots that go over there and go, oh, you know what would be a great place to vacation? Let's go hiking over northeastern Syria. Yeah. Or let's go to Turkey. Yeah. Or let's go to Iran. Those are the only people, and they deserve it. If you go over there backpacking as a dumbass white person, like, oh, we're going to go over here and we're going to bring Bibles to them. Well, you know what? Obviously, your God didn't like you because you were trying to spread his word and he let somebody else kill you. So, sorry, pick a new God. All right, so that's my little religious rant. Now I'll get off of that. Gavin Newsome, it turns out this week, Gavin Newsome, for those of you who don't know, is the governor of California. He took all of our gas tax money that we tried to repeal during the last election. This is how crooked this motherfucker is. Our ballot measure that we voted to get added to the ballot was repeal the gas tax because California already overtaxes us on all of our gases, and they're not using any of our money to fix the roads. So let's repeal it because they're not using it for that anyway. But what ended up on the ballot was, if you vote for this, firefighters and police will not be able to get to your house because our roads will be too dangerous and it'll prevent emergency services. And also Caltrans says that this is 100% false. So Caltrans, California Transportation Department, Caltrans was supposed to get all this money to fix all these roads, to do all these projects. And actually, instead of getting an increase in their budget to fix the roads, they took $150 million decrease for fixing the roads this year. That's right. After Gavin Newsome tricked all the idiots who didn't read the actual ballot thing, they only read the little summation of what that ballot measure means. All those retards that had absolutely no idea what the fuck is going on in politics voted, oh, well, I don't want to vote for a measure that's going to keep the fire department and the police department from getting to me, so I gotta vote no on that one. So all those morons. Now, Caltrans is reporting they didn't get any of the money. And not only did they not get any of the money, it's been a year and a half now. It's been almost 2 years. No, it's been a year. It's been one full solid year. November is 1 full year since we voted. Caltrans has not received $1 extra to fix the roads or to do any of their projects. And not only that, but they've had significant layoffs. So they've been laying people off, and their budget got cut $140 million. I think it was $145 million. We'll say $140. We'll be generous. So, congratulations, California. Y'all a bunch of fucking idiots. Like we kept telling you, you got to repeal the gas tax because they're not using that money. You know what he's going to use the money for? He signed an executive order so that he can use the money for Green New Deal type shit. So he's going to use it, instead of making car lanes, he's going to make bike lanes, which nobody rides bikes in Southern California. And if these idiot climate change motherfuckers could get it through their head, you know the best way to stop carbon pollution? Build more roads. Because if you build more roads, that means less people idling in traffic. So instead of a 2-hour commute to work, instead of burning 2 times carbon, you get a 1-hour ride to work. And you burn 1 times carbon. Each way. They could cut the carbon emissions in half in Southern California by adding like 2 lanes to the 5. Oh, on the 5 freeway in between Orange County and L.A. County, there's room to paint 5 lanes. All the concrete's there. It's been there forever. It's all there. They have like these weird white lines. They actually shut down one of the 3 lanes on the 5 North at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a fucking Friday. They shut down one of the lanes so they could street sweep those 5 lanes that aren't being used. I was like, you fucking dirty California motherfuckers. Anyway, that's my what a week it has been. I hope that you had a great week. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll tune in next week. Bye.